So you're thinking about starting a blog or a YouTube channel in 2021, but you're conflicted and you're not sure exactly which one is the right path to take. This is a question that I get often from people either interested in growing their business, their online presence, or just kind of starting from scratch. So how do you know which one is the right one for you? Well, you can start with your own personality, but I don't want you to think that you have to be an extrovert in order to get in front of a camera and speak. It's absolutely the exact opposite. I know in the very beginning, it's very intimidating to sit in front of a camera and talk, and it seems kind of silly and goofy at first, but you really do get more comfortable as you start to film. And it really does help to kind of get people out of the house and out of your way in order to actually get comfortable and just kind of be yourself. So I'm going to move to my analytics on the computer here in just a sec. I'm going to show you how much I earned through YouTube ads, and I'm going to show you the difference of that versus blogging and how much I earned through ads on my blog. Now, affiliate marketing and sponsored posts and sponsored videos, that's a completely different subject, and that's where most of my income came from. But we're just going to strictly talk about ads in the beginning because that is something that you're going to need to know to help you make the decision whether or not you want to go blogging versus YouTube or both. Okay, we are inside my Google Analytics, and this is for my blog, perfectionhangover.com. Now, you can see that from January 1st, 2020 to December 31st, 2020, I had a total of 540,853 page views. And you can see that over here on the left down underneath the graph. And the average time on page was 4 minutes and 5 seconds. My bounce rate is pretty high. Of course, I have no AdSense revenue, but I'm going to show you who my ads are with here in just a second. But you can see that I had pretty consistent traffic. Now, in February, I had a big jump of traffic. I cannot remember what happened in February, but this was before we moved to Florida and we made some major changes, and I really scaled back the time that I was spending on the blog and also on Pinterest, because Pinterest, as you all probably know, is a time suck, and the ROI sometimes is just not there. Like, I'm still using Pinterest, but I found that I'm still getting consistent traffic without spending hours and hours on Pinterest every single day, or without paying a bunch of money for Tailwind. So you can see the page views there. Now I'm going to bring you over to my Mediavine dashboard. Now, when I first started blogging, I didn't realize that you need to choose the right ad network. Now, obviously, Mediavine at the time was only requiring 25,000 sessions per month, and I wasn't quite there. But there's another ad publisher or an ad network called Monumetric, and they require 10,000 page views, not sessions, 10,000 page views per month. Once I switched to Monumetric, my income increased significantly from AdSense. So when you're starting a blog, you want to make sure and choose the right ad network. And for me, it was the step from Monumetric up to Mediavine. Now you can see with about 540,000 page views and 437,000 sessions last year, I earned a total of $14,487.39, and my RPM was $33.11. Now, RPM, if you don't know what that is, it's rate per thousand page views or sessions based on what they're calculating. So the rate per thousand page views, I believe this is $33.11. Now we're going to hop on over. And this, guys, this is for average traffic. I mean, my average traffic is around 45,000 page views a month. It is not astronomical, but this income is decent stay-at-home income. I'm able to be at home with the kids and the family, and my daughter's been sick the past week. I was able to really take care of her and kind of put everything on the back burner. So for me, it's very well worth it. This is great income for what I'm doing. And this is just a sliver of the income. Now, I'll share my total number of how much I earned in 2020 at the end of the video, so make sure you listen to the whole thing. And if you haven't subscribed, I'm going to throw that suggestion in here right now. Please subscribe to the channel. It really helps me a lot when you do that. So let's hop on over to my YouTube analytics and compare. Okay, so here we are in my YouTube Studio Analytics, And I want to go back to overview here, and I'm going to show you. So in 2020, I got 273,497 views in 2020 on my channel, which is a little bit it's approximately half of the page views that I received on the blog. My watch time was 17,000 hours. My subscribers were 1,600, and my revenue was 3,735. Now, you guys know you can go to my homepage of my YouTube channel and you can see that I have about 5,600 subscribers. So I don't have astronomical subscribers, but this is a pretty good return. This is a pretty good ad revenue and income stream for having only 5,600 subscribers. So I'm happy with these numbers. That being said, I want to go into the revenue and I want to show you the differences between RPM on the YouTube channel versus the RPM on the blog. So when you click on RPM, we can see that in 2020 versus 2019, my revenue was up 13%, my RPM was up 27%, and my CPM was up 25%. Now the RPM, if you're comparing apples to apples, my blog RPM was $33 and my RPM on the YouTube channel is $13. So you can clearly see the difference between the YouTube channel versus the blog. The YouTube has a lower RPM than my blog did. That being said, I'm going to talk specifics about kind of how I increased my income so much. In fact, I doubled it this year versus last year. And a lot of that has to do with affiliate marketing, but we're going to talk about that now. Now, your RPM is going to vary based on your niche, and personal finance just happens to be a higher RPM than some of the other things like maybe cooking channels. It probably has a lower RPM than personal finance or business. But what I want to urge you to do is to not look at just my channel, because every single channel is different. You can look at analytics of all sorts of different channels and they're gonna vary significantly. But a good portion of my income came from affiliate marketing, and I truly believe that a lot of my conversions came from YouTube. I actually use YouTube and blogging to complement each other. I do both, and I do recommend both for most people in most situations, because you can start a blog for 3 years of hosting for about $100. And that is a very, very low startup cost with a high ROI, because you could see that my ad revenue last year was over $14,000, and total I've earned about $70,000 since I started my blog 3 years ago. And I mean, it's obviously that's the best $100 I ever spent was to start my blog. So if you're interested in starting one and you want to get my promotional pricing, I can get you hosting for $2.95. Just click the link in the description and you can head on over to my video about how to start a blog from scratch. But when you're comparing the two, right? I've talked about this in some of my other videos, but Google is the #1 search engine and YouTube is the #2 search engine, and Google happens to own YouTube. So I think that when you use both platforms to grow your reach and to grow your business, you're going to obviously amplify your income and amplify traffic to each of those sources as well. So when you create a blog post that's similar to what you're recording on your videos, then you can embed the videos within the blog post and you can link to the blog within the description of the YouTube video. And this really, I believe, helps solidify your channel and just builds a better foundation of authority. So when comparing the two, it costs almost nothing to start a YouTube channel, especially if you use equipment that you already have, like your cell phone. But to start a blog takes a little bit more time commitment, and it really does take effort. It really takes a lot of work to put into it. But if you can do both, that's what I would urge you to do. And again, if you don't know how to get started on YouTube or blogging, I will link some of my favorite blogging and YouTube tutorials down below. Make sure you subscribe to this channel so that you don't miss out on all of the content that I'm creating to help you grow your reach and your business in 2021. I hope you guys have an awesome day, and I will see you in the next video.